Welcome to Man Weekly Roundtable Discussion. I'm Lawrence Littleton, Executive Director of Man NFP, author and creator of Man's Community Violence Intervention, Workforce Development, and Community Development Curriculum, and the author of America, The Ultimate Me Society, available now on Amazon. This roundtable is designed to bring people together for thoughtful, solution-focused conversation. To keep things respectful and organized, please raise your hand before speaking. I'll call on participants in the order hands were received. Everyone will have at least 1 minute to speak, so every voice has a chance to be heard. Our topics will change each week, allowing us to explore different issues from multiple perspectives. This week's topic, family values. What are they and how does it impact communities? Together, we'll highlight the positive aspects of our nation, the things worth protecting, building on, and celebrating. Let's have an open, honest discussion. And remember, the goal is to learn from each other. All right. How's everyone doing? You guys heard the topic. I'll give you, well, the reason why I chose this topic is because for many, many years, I was always just paid attention to how we look at family. And I just from my opinion, I think that this is from research and studies. I think this is one of the areas that plagues us as Black people in America, as our family values, and this is one of the things that weakens our posture, weakens our stance, and weakens our communities. I'll yield for right now. I want to hear you guys go ahead and chime in. You don't have to raise your hand either. That's just what I put in that script. You don't have to raise your hand. You can go for it. It's not that many of us.
Right. Well, I mean, I can go if ain't nobody else, if somebody else want to talk about it right now. I can go for it. Okay, so my opinion on this. So we got a two-part question, right? You said family values and what effect it has on the community, correct?
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay, so I believe family values should be principles, you know what I mean, and that should be the ground that we stand on. I believe it because then if we got family values and principles in the home, then I believe then at that point it can start bleeding over into like the community. But I'll just start off like this. But if the home is off balance, then I just believe that then the community is going to be off balance because there's no structure there. And so if we not okay, so we just not talking about like rules. I'm not just talking about rules. I'm talking about the respect that's taught in the home, the accountability, the love, the family dynamic of the man and the woman, being in the presence of the home. All of that stuff is important to me. I believe that it's important when you talk about family values. When it gets to, especially when it comes to the kids, because like, okay, you got, if it's not being taught, then how can they pass it down? And so now we just got generations and generations of destruction. So I just believe that if a man is present, if possible, to be in the home, and even if he's not, I still believe that he can bring energy into that home. He can kind of like set the temperature. He can bring peace. Even under extreme like times where there's pressure. I mean, and I think once that's displayed, it can kind of show your offspring that, hey, listen, I've got an example here of a person who knows how to get through adversity and things of that nature. So that's how I see it. So teaching your kids how to lead, how to get through adversity, and not just about this whole like survival tactic. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. But I think that when you don't have that, so then there's no structure. So then we end up again, with young boys, who don't know what manhood actually looked like. You know what I'm saying? Young women, young girls who growing up don't know what womanhood look like, you know, so she's searching for everything outside of the home. You know, there's no values that's being taught there. Everybody is just kind of like in survival mode. So yeah, I mean, I believe that the community is very, very important. I believe the effect that it has on the community is that it's not being taught at home. It's not starting at home. There's no value there. There's no structure there. So now I think that if you got a community of individuals where there's no family values and no structure, then I don't think you got a community. You just got chaos. You just got a block full of chaos and several blocks of, you know what I'm saying, just chaos. You see what I'm saying? And so I think it starts at home, you know, and I don't think we understand a lot of times how important it is, you know, because, you know, you don't even have grandmas really anymore that can kind of like check you. You see what I'm saying? And kind of instill things in you, you know, to speak life into you, you know, give you some type of reassurance, even when it comes to the woman or a grandfather that can implant a seed in you. You know what I mean? So it's broken. And I just think that it needs to go back to the foundation of the home. And if we can get that, you know, understood, and I think that at that point, then we can start to begin to build community.
Yeah, I would chime in and say, family values. When I hear that, I hear alignment. I hear blueprint. I hear fabric. I hear I hear community, right? And I think it's all intertwined, right? So when I say that, is like, if you don't know where you came from, if you don't know what the true value of your family was, you can't see the future, right? We could look at the disenfranchisement of a lot of Black people, Black men, Black women. We could look at the prison industrial complex, school to prison pipeline. We could look at, you know, the mandate of public aid and how that helped systemically remove the man from the household. We could go all the way back to when we was in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, and you would see a robust culture, a robust value, shared values amongst the household, because everything was about protection. Everything was about what happens here stays here. Teach Johnny this lesson, teach Brenda this lesson, and keep on passing it down. And then when the fractures come, right, when all these disenfranchisements come and they infiltrate systems that we were building, like the Black Panther Party. I would even throw in the GDs, BDs, Vice Lords, and all of them, etc., because they was all built on community safety and keeping the nourishments, the pureness, and cultures and values inside of the community until infiltration come, and then it like distorted a lot of those things. And once we got distorted, once we got removed, then I think that like in those generational gaps, people who wasn't ready for leadership stepped up to leadership, but they lost a lot of substance that others had before them. They lost a compass rose, as to say, right? The direction of which our family values should be existing, which should have been continuing to protect and keep safe community and Black folks at large, right? Each one teach one. When I desire my brother, when I see you, I see me, Ubuntu. Like, we should have kept a lot of those family values and stuff. And still, I see right now, like I said, the generational gaps. Generationally, a lot of Black men has been removed systemically. A lot of Black men has lost their lives to gun violence. A lot of Black women had to step in and stand into positions that never once really truly suited them. They were made, and I'm not saying like that's just period, right, for women, because it is some dynamic women and sisters that exist. But when you're looking at it, when you put somebody in a position and they operate primarily from a place of emotion, meaning like nurturing, coddling, healing, bandaging, you know what I'm saying, et cetera, then you instill that into the men, and the men get lost. So it begins to water down the leadership in which we rooted up. And now we have a lot of emotional males that's running around with more disenfranchised bodies being taken out the cycle, who once represented leadership and direction inside of a family. But to the brother Rico point, you know what I'm saying? I feel like values have been lost. Values, shared values have been lost. Values have been watered down due to incompetent leadership, and it has ultimately left us in a broken state. And I feel like sometimes we have to be able to go back and revert back to those times of like when being black meant something. It meant, you know, protection, meant looking at another person and seeing the same struggle and not wanting to, you know, like harm or hurt each other. And I can't say that it didn't fully exist, but we need to get back to what we love ourselves generationally. We have to be able to tell those old stories like the African griots did about who we were and where we come from and what we derive from. Even if that's down in the South, where a lot of our stories begin. Just talking about those Southern values that we shared when we were on those plantations, when we were sharecropping together. What was the value of Black people? How did we protect each other? What did we have to do to survive? And what did we have to do to, you know what I'm saying, basically not live in a silo, but to be able to still live, exist, breathe, and try to, you know, but thinking, just thinking overall. But yeah, man, it's a good question, Lars, that you raised for sure.
Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah, see it for sure.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna take a call. Rail just joined. I was trying to get another guy. He's having some troubles getting in. Some technical issues. He needs to give Teams permission on his phone to get in. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and read what ChatGPT had to say about family values, just to give us a little bit more structure and context. And keep in mind, ChatGPT hallucinates sometimes, so I don't always take everything that this robot brings back as actual factual, but it does give a good a good benchmark. So what do family values mean? In most community work, family values refer to norms and practices that support stable caregiving and child well-being. Things like commitment between caregivers, consistent parenting, economic cooperation, and support networks, including extended family. These can be expressed in many household forms: married, cohabitating, multi-generational, kinship care. But researchers often track outcomes by parental presence, two parent versus one. I asked it to do that, since that's easy to measure and ties closely to resources and time. Current landscape: two parent household versus single parent households. Um, all U.S. children in 2022, 70% live with two parents, 65% married, 5% cohabitating, 22% live with their mother only, 5% with father only, 4% with no parent. By race and ethnicity, 2022, share living with two married parents: white, non-Hispanic, 75%, Hispanic, 60%, Black, 38%. Many Black children also live in single parent or multi-generational households. NCES Snapshot 2022, a majority of children in each group live in married couple households, except American, Indian, Alaska Native, and Black children. Among, I'm sorry, I lost my space. Among Black children, 54% live with a female household versus 35% with non-married coupled households. Poverty and economic stability. Official poverty rate by family structure 2023. Married couple families, 4.6% live in poverty. Male household with no spouse, 11.4%. Female household with no spouse, 21%. Congressional Research Service, CPS, and SEC is their source. Broader census materials and CPS tables show consistent patterns across years. Single-parent families face substantially higher poverty risk than married couple families. Education and youth and outcomes: what changes for kids? And associations living in a single-parent household in poverty or with lower parental education is associated with worse educational outcomes, lower achievement, higher grade repetition, higher dropout kids. NCES flags these as correlated risk factors rather than simple causation. Community mobility evidence. Areas with more two-parent evidence with more I'm sorry. I was paying attention to this guy trying to join. He had technical issues joining the chat, joining the meeting. So for income, there you go, my man. Welcome, brother. Uh, don't drop this time.
Hey, man.
for for income and other factors. Opportunity Insights, Opportunity at Last Atlas finds mobility varies sharply by neighborhood and correlates with local characteristics such as the share of two-parent households, adult employment, and school test scores. How this plays out in African American community versus others. I asked it to do that. Household structure differences. A smaller share of black children live with two married parents compared with white and Hispanic children, 38 versus 75 and 60 respectively in 2022. That structural difference helps explain higher exposure to single parent and multi-generational baby mama, baby daddy living arrangements. Economic exposure because single parent families of any race face much higher poverty rates. Community with more single parent households tend to experience higher child poverty overall, which is tightly linked to educational and health disparities. Place matters. Neighborhoods with more two-parent families and higher adult employment show better mobility for kids across races, improving local opportunity structures benefits blacks and non-black children alike. Practical takeaways for programs and policies. They say support parents in all forms and household stability. I ain't gonna go into that part. I just wanted to read what I asked it to do, which was compare. I'll ask for some stats on African American community versus other communities, the difference that two-parent household create in children lives versus children from single-parent households. So here I'll go back to the title real quick because guys, we just joined. They can see the title. All right, you guys see that? Family values. What are they, and how do they impact communities? Uh, the other two gentlemen who just joined, you guys want to go ahead and take a stab at what's your take on family values? What are they? How does that impact communities? And what I just read.
Wait, repeat the question.
Well, there's the title. You see it on the screen? Can you see it?
Yeah, family values. What are they and how does it impact communities?
Go for it.
Well, if family is the cornerstone of community, then it's, I don't want to say obvious how the family values impact communities, but for example, if you look at Inglewood or South Shore, right? And you look at the families and you look at the statistics that you just gave, right? A lot of single mama, a lot of kids, right? A lot of a lot of single mamas and just women and children. Um, Values are distorted. So you just look at the community. It ain't no emotional intelligence, ain't nobody striving to do much other than look good and prove a point, like who can do the most violent shit. Whereas when you look at like somewhere like where I work at, uh, everybody's value is different. I mean, we talked about this sometimes about how I deal with people who are well off and wealthy as far as training them, and they value system is just all different. They live below their means, and like it's just a whole culture shock for real when I think about it. But to get back to the question, how does family values impact the community? The family values are going to impact the community because the families are what make up the community. So if every family has a low value system or a superficial value system, then I mean it's obvious how that's going to impact the community. You're going to have a chaotic community.
Yield, yield when you finish, so the next person can pick up. Just say I yield.
I
That way
yield.
that way the other person can pick up. Go for it.
I yield.
Presley.
I don't got nothing to say.
Why not?
I just want to listen, man. That's all.
Okay.
If I could
Well,
back in, I would have come back.
sure.
Well, it's this African proverb from East Africa, from the Maasai people, man, and it always start off with, "How are the children?" And in their culture, they will respond, "All the children are well." And this greeting just definitely reflects the deep cultural value, and it focuses directly on the well-being of the children. Is the ultimate measure of a community's health, peace, and prosperity. So to the brother's point, when he was just speaking, when you look at places like North Lawndale, Austin, when you look at places like East Garfield Park, when you look at Roseland, when you look at Inglewood, Chatham, when you look at South Shore, when you look at Washington Park, can you say that all the children are well?
Not at all.
I look at the buildings, everybody being displaced when the buildings got tore down and they got scattered across Chicago, right? That was displacement. That right there, that displacement also caused the uproar and violence. I look at when CPS closed all those schools, and it made people go across different communities. Another displacement. It caused the uproar and violence.
Yeah.
It keeps it is the system continues to perpetuate violence, and we become lackluster, and we become, what I would say is settle. We settle for our current states. I've seen the stats around, like it's said, like if you're a single mom and you get married, you decrease your possibility of living in poverty by 8%. If you're a single father and you live in poverty and you get married, you decrease your you decrease your possibility of living in poverty by 7%. And then I look at the men, and I ain't knocking none of the brothers, because all the brothers, they doing what they know how to do and what they was taught how to do. But I look at young brothers that's out here that's not promoting marriage, right? They might have all the fame, have 1 billion views on Facebook, social media, everything, but they not promoting healthy love. I see the sisters, that's also the same influencers, because right now we are social media like silo. And
Yes.
whatever we see on our networks is what we live, right? So when I think of family values, I take it more than just the block and I put it on the social media, because all of our values have become shared and watered down and colluded with a bunch of the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
And we've done away with the sacredness of, like I said, the Black mother, the Black woman, the Black womb, the Black man being in leadership, the Black man being representative of strength, masculinity, but visionary. We lack some of those elements, and those are the things that now take the place of what our old values were. And that is the reflection of what our community is currently.
Correct.
You yield.
I yield.
I think that the violence come from the values more so than uprooting and displacement, though. Even though I agree with 90% of what you said, I don't think that the violence that we see on a daily basis comes from just politics. Now, I do know that it plays a part in it, but I think that the violence that we see, especially at this point, especially in the year 2025, for the past 10, 15 years, I don't think that the violence that we see, that we've been experiencing, got nothing to do with other than values of the people in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You got guys that grew up together. I just saw a video of 2 niggas that I knew from Cal City. I knew them from being friends with each other, and one of them killed the other one on camera. You see what I'm saying? That don't got nothing to do with politics. That's just plain values. And I like to think about solutions as opposed to just constantly just dwelling on the problem.
Right.
Right. So when I think about like what could be a solution to like the fucked up value system, right? And when I think about that type of shit, I think about all the time I spent in institutions and shit. And I think about like some of the niggas that I met, some of the characters I came across and shit. And on one hand, it'd be like, damn, it's over with. But on the other hand, I don't think so. I don't think it's over with because I meet a lot of good people. We got spaces like this. I meet a lot of thorough guys. And but I still don't really see like what would be the value. He spoke about social media. I know Pops, you always say that everybody got to be a social engineer. So I mean, I would think that would be step one right there, is that everybody put on an engineer hat, you know what I'm saying, and try to do whatever they think is relevant or necessary. But
So,
I yield.
well, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm bad at that. I'm horrible at that. I've been doing that all my life. Uh, and I got called out for it in the class. They almost got into a fight. I thought, the young man got up like, man, you be cutting me off, then you be bugging up. I'm like, hold on, shorty. Well, I do everybody like that. Don't take it personal, young man. I'm bad at that. I stand corrected. My fault. I love you. I want to hear you. I just sometimes, I get a little passionate. And then you be bugging up too, like you. I'm like, well, there was a point in time in my life where I thought I was the toughest dude ever. So, what I would like to add is, I think that we should start to, we're in a unique position where we can define our own culture and define our own and create our own way. So, to speak to the solution part, I think that we should, it's my opinion strongly, that we should redefine what family values are and what
Right.
they should be. And if we as males start to spread that, what our family values are, one of the things that I'll go and name a couple things, for instance, to be in detail. I think core family values should be, number one, should be commitment, the ability to commit, and not just commit to a woman, but commit to being a morally upright, sound individual that has principles of integrity, honor, decency, discipline, respect, things like that. Once you define that as a core value, then you translate that into your man to interaction. So every man to interaction I'm using myself as an example that I go forward with, then these are the values that I'm bringing into this interaction. So now, if I move forward to friendship, now I'm bringing these to my friendship. So I hold you accountable for the same type of morals and values, that I'm bringing to this relationship. With my wife and my commitment to her, I'm committed to you. This is an arrangement. This is a business deal. So there's more than just love and I love you and we have sex. No, this is a committed relationship, a business deal. You got a part to uphold. I have a part to uphold. Being a person of your word. When I do business with people, if I tell you that, I'm going to do this part of my arrangement of the business, then I'm going to do it. Those type of values, honor, need to be held at the forefront, and not just held at the forefront internally. Men, if we are to take our leadership roles back in Black America, then we have to start to speak up and speak out about these things. I know it's dangerous, but all of us have our own discernment and agency over ourselves, where we know what situations that we can hold people accountable, call things out. We need to stop allowing the status quo or the normalization of degeneracy to go on around us and not say anything about it. And I think personally, from my own opinion, I think that's one of the biggest things that makes us weak as males in Black America is that we just, well, you know, that's just the way it is. And, you know, this happened and then the white man did this and that and they and this and that. At what point are we going to say, no more, we're not going to allow this type of behavior. We're not going to continue to project, yeah, the white man did this. Yeah, this happened. Yeah, that happened. We get all of that. But when are the agendas are going to stop? Are you going to continue to just say, well, they did this, so that's just the way it is? No, that's not the way it is. We can, as our own, as a page from our ancestors book, we are in control of our own destiny, even more now than ever so before.
Mm.
So I would like to say the way it impacts our communities, you guys already spoke on that, but the way standing up on strong principles and values, changing our values as men, it may be small in number, but we will start to create a frequency and a new cultural norm around just the ones who communicate in this, that, you know, when your aura walk in the door, certain people will recognize, like, man, that guy don't play. You know, for instance, I give an example myself. People in my circle of life who know me personally, they know that you don't play ignorant ass rap music around this dude. He ain't having it. You see what I'm saying? He don't listen to that. He don't want to hear that. So don't play it around him. I'm just using that as an example. And there was a time in my life where I loved ignorant ass rap music. But and I still, there's a nigga in me that he still love it. He'll hear something right now, and I have to, he'll be like, you know, that shit is really not, you like that, don't you? And I'd be like, well, yeah, I do. But you know, we standing on certain principles now. So we can't, I'll let you hear about 2-3 minutes of it. That's about it. I'll feed you a little bit. But you is not about to go out here and bump that shit. You know that. All right. So, because you have a image that you have to represent in terms of being a pioneer of this new culture or a new black order, I would like to say I'm not starting a new black order. I'm just saying that it should be a new black order that people that we should adhere to and live by in order to reconstruct our families and recreate new family values. I yield.
Yeah, I wanted to just toss in there accountability, right? I think a lot of times, a lot of us be afraid to speak up or speak to somebody as a core value too. Like
Yeah.
be afraid because people, you know, like what do you say, emotional intelligence, right?
That's right.
People lack emotional intelligence, and like when you're coming at somebody and saying, "Hey, bro, you know, we could have did this better," yeah, take that as like you judging them or you think you better than them, and it's like,
Yeah.
nah, I just want us to proceed and take the steps forward together. It's something you said. It was something that was mentioned. Uh, when you're thinking about the solution, I think at the baseline solution need to be mental health. I was also in jail for I did a decade in prison, right, and I met a lot of interesting characters too. And a lot of brothers respond to brokenness. Like a lot of brothers be fragmented. They don't
Yeah.
be their whole selves. Like, and it's because they ain't never had no safe space or no place to feel brave enough to be able to tell their stories about how stuff impacted them. You know what I'm saying? When we walked out the door, like when I walked out of project buildings, I seen guys under the building selling drugs with guns. That's what I seen. I ain't see no construction workers. I ain't see no lawyers, no doctors. I ain't see that when I walked out my door. So when I think about that, I also think about cultivating think tanks around like other. I mean, I would say expanding your horizon, right? Diversifying your friend groups, having
Mhm.
access and creating access to other people and places. Because without being able to see something different, how can you be different? It just makes the process that much harder because you got to fail a billion times when there's probably one person you could connect with that could teach you how to succeed that once. And when we steady fail, we go into survival mode, right? Like I sold drugs and all that growing up. You know what I'm saying? So like if I hit rock bottom, what you think I'm gonna go back to, right? But you would think that I wouldn't. What's that? This the one we got up with.
I mean, that wasn't no for you to read, Ashley. That was
No,
you
you
could.
are good. But nah, just thinking though, man. Like when I think about that, like I think about, like I said, man, I think about filling the generational gaps, man. And the only way we could do that is by repairing the brokenness, man, that our community see. And I think that that's a mental health component. That's a compassion component. And I don't think that, you know, what like how we put that back together. Are you?
Okay. I think that another family value, like he said, right? You said that what you see affect, and I concur with that, right? What you see and the way you perceive reality and yourself and shit and how you fit into it, it's gonna affect like how you think, which in turn is gonna affect your actions, right? So when you see shit being done another way and you see another perspective, you see another point of view, it just make you you know learn and unlearn some shit too, right? So I think that that got to be a value that, well, like, people don't always uh like we gotta niggas all over. I done been all across the country. No matter where you at, niggas glorify the streets, right?
Yeah.
Pops, you know how I feel about that. I hate when people try to lead me with that or try to present that first about this real when he woo. Like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? And I think that that's what's fucked up right now. When I go outside right here, it's a group of little kids, right? These is, and you said it one day. You said that in 5 years he gonna be dead and in jail. And even though it seemed funny, it was a fucked up, scary, sad reality. Cause that's reality though. Cause he like 12 years old right now. So within 5 years, that might really be what's real for him. You know what I'm saying? Because the values, because what everybody think is what everybody values. And then, you know what niggas value when it comes to the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Respect, because that's like, and then respect look different for each and every last one of us, right? So what you respect, I might not respect. So if
Ethic.
like if we can't come to have those core values, we gonna always misinterpret what respect is, right? Because it's really be that simple. And emotional intelligence play like a real major part in that. Like the lack of you being able to understand how we coming or understand how we moving. If we are pushing forward, you might be so broken to the point where you see what we doing as a negative to what you doing because you can't see this holistically. And I think that it's like reinstalling the vision, bro. Like I said, man, like I always look back to them 50s and 60s and them 70s, right? Of when like collective movement started and what the reason was, what was behind the movement.
Right.
Right? It was about Black unity. It was about Black love. It was about Black is beautiful. Then we get to the 80s, crack get dropped on us, right? Then we get to what they do to if you got a man staying in your house, you can't get access to certain things. So now we got the disenfranchisement of the house. The Black man always been under attack though, the whole entire time. We talking about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Huey P. Newton, what's my brother from Maywood, and
Fred
so
Hampton.
on. Yeah, Fred Hampton, right? Like all of everybody. We could go Larry Hoover, we can go Jeff Fort, we could hit all of them because all of them was seeking out to be leaders and was revolutionaries in their own way until something like a government infiltration came in and it broke us, severed us, and divided us. And a lot of those goals that was set before us, a lot of those like mindsets and shared values shifted. It shifted 100% from prosperous to straight up, I gotta survive.
Yeah.
We went from a collective to individualism. And there's nothing wrong with being a great individual, but if you're not teaching how you became a great individual, then that's a lost lesson. And everybody who become a great individual leave the hood. So now they gone out the hood and we left back with Sam, Joe, and Jack, and all they know how to do is get money, gang bang, shoot, sell dope, and promote fucking a lot of you know what. You get what I'm saying? So like it's that's what we left with, man. And those are a bunch of people who also got generational gaps in their life that didn't talk to their great grandfather and see their great grandfather who was the carpenter when he came to the Midwest from the South. See their granddaddy, grandmama who was the tapestry specialist when she came over here. because people came from the South with real trades.
Yeah.
What happened with those, right? They took them out of high school, so now you can't get no early certification coming out of high school. It's so many systems. So we have to attack the system. We have to vocalize the problem. We have to continue to mobilize. We have to continue, like right now, Chicago is on the verge of making history. When was the last time Chicago was under 400 homicides? Any of y'all know, with the exception of Lawrence?
Man.
So I didn't know if he was finished yet, brother. I'm my fault.
I just asked one question. I just wanted to come back with a point. So right now we making history, man. The last time Chicago was under 400 homicides was 1965. Right now we got probably about 365 homicides to date in Chicago. But it gets so much driven by media, the depiction of black violence on violence, that it still feel like it's the same from 2021, which it was 800. We still feel like we're seeing just as many people die, and these are real people. I don't want to discredit that, but like, we got some shared values. We got some things that's working for us. How can we continue to capitalize and grow off of those things? And I'm gonna pass over to Brother Rico. I yield.
Yeah, so I wanted to just get y'all because I know we was talking about solutions, but I just wanted to get y'all opinion about this, because I heard the brother Real speak on how he hears sometimes a lot of motherfuckers like to lead with the street, but I just wanted to get y'all opinion on this. So do you think that the reason for that, you know what I'm saying, is because there's an identity issue? You see what I'm saying with us?
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? So so that's why I want to find out, we starved, I believe, like we starving, you know what I'm saying, our identity. Like we don't actually know. So we going to the extremes for that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like these little young niggas and shit want bodies on they, you know what I'm saying, on them. It's like, you see what I'm saying? So you can't identify with nothing else. So you come, you know what I'm saying, and you result to this. And so I was hearing you saying something about a safe space. You know what I'm saying? So how do we get to the point where we can try to instill and change the identity issue that we got going on? You know what I'm saying? Because that's I mean, I don't know. That's why I just want to talk.
Not to cut you off though, but I got it because I'm cooking up something that's dealing with that, right? The identity issue, right? Now, even though I didn't word it like that, right? You worded it perfectly, right? That's exactly what it is. It's an identity issue amongst other things too. But I think that a lot of niggas gotta see that, like Ashley said, like that's not the only thing. That's not the only thing that can make you cool, lit. That's not the only thing that can make you a man or brave or fearless. You know what I'm saying? It's just being reckless or hostile and violent for no reason at all times. Right now, even from when I was a shorty, like it was just different from like right now. Right now it's just it's just crazy. And I know that they say it's 400 homicides and they down. But I just think that it's the number of people they just running out of people. The kids, a lot of niggas is dead. Like just me myself, like I know, so like damn near everybody I know died. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody dead, ain't no more people to kill. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was coming through one of the sites about a month ago, and one of the young guys was talking to our doctor, our on-site doctor. And, he was talking the CVI stuff, and the young man said exactly that. He said, ain't nobody left to kill. Everybody gone. Everybody dead.
Yeah.
And I think that gentrification has a lot to do with that too. The whole replacement theory that's going on, that, okay, we at the end of this agenda, we've moved them out, we've depopulated them, they're not reproducing, so the numbers are down. If you go through us being native Chicagoans, especially us Generation X guys, we got one. Well, I don't know if Ashley would be considered Gen X. I know Rico and my man Presley, we all Generation X guys. So he's born in the 70s. So we saw what it used to look like growing up. And at one point, I thought the world was populated with all black people, because when I came outside, it was thousands of us. I mean, thousands. Every corner. If I went to 71st, thousands. If I went to 75th, thousands. 79th, 3,000. 87, thousands. And now on a nice summer day, I could drive those same streets that I'm born and grown on, and I barely see 2-3 people.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, I barely see 2-3 people. I rode past CVS one day during prime school hours, and now they got a speed trap up there. I'm like, and it's like about 10, 15 kids coming out of there. They done sold one wing off to healthcare, to doctors or whatever, some health facility. It's not even all CVS no more. But when I was when I used to go up there, it was, it was literally 2,000-3,000 people out there. A sea of red. I called it the Red Sea, because it was just a sea of people. Now I go past them, I'm like, wow, where the kids at? They go past all the other high schools, no kids. I'm like, this is so. Anyway,
That's because they
gentrification
all
has
on the
some.
red line, stopping the train and smoking weed and shit.
Hell no.
But all right, I yield.
I'm with you when you're right. You ain't lying.
I yield. Apologies for interrupting.
But yeah, with the identity thing though, I think that a lot of the guys, a lot of the shorties, they gotta see that, like, you're not limited to only be a rapper. That gotta prove that you live what you rap, because it just seemed like that's the only way. When you speak about business with some of these people, you talk about business or growing or even just working, like the posture, it just sounds so crazy, right? It's like it just come down to identity, because when I talk to some of the people that I train, some of the people even some of the black people that I train that never lived the street life, they identity, they don't identify with this shit, so they view themselves different, they view what they do different, they spend their time, their money different, everything is just different, you know what I'm saying? So I think that Rico hit it on the head with the identity crisis. I think that got to be a priority.
I want to just point out that I feel like that's a problem too, though, right? Because ain't nothing wrong with you being able to identify that you different and you didn't have those experiences, but
Right.
being able to expand your compassion for those that didn't, right? Because that's a, like, it's a saying, man. I like to say, don't beat me, teach me.
Right.
So don't get down on me because I might not have had the 2-parent household and have access. Your mama didn't graduated from college, your daddy didn't graduated. I come from the projects. I'm from the low end. I come from the buildings. I'm a building baby. I come from disenfranchised, broken down households. I got 17 addresses, but I still own a 5-bedroom house today. We can sit in that same room with you and talk to you and teach you and educate you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even in those spaces when you train, and I challenge you to push that envelope a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, look, like, we all black though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We all got the same black experience. If you got it's shorties in the streets right now with 2-parent households. And they looking at the guys that got 1-parent households as, man, he popular. I want to be like him.
Yeah.
Like, the culture
that's facts,
the culture is so
the culture,
broken.
the values.
The culture, right? The culture, and the internet play a lot of it in it. And then if you got a mother who from the 90s, let's not talk about before social media got here. Let's talk about before social media got here. They was pop. You know what I'm saying? They was on that too, right? So when you don't know better, how can you transcend and teach somebody else something better? So it continuing, and that's even the parents that got the 2-parent households. That's even mama that's up in there. She got a college degree, but she twerk on the weekends.
Yeah.
Bro got a college degree, but all his guys in the hoods in the streets, he still go there for validation. Like, what are you taking back to those spaces when you in those spaces? Because it's our responsibility. We got to continue to shape and mold all these things, man, because we got a big pot of nothing but love, of nothing but experiences, lived experience, learned experiences that we don't even utilize. I be in so many rooms with so many people, and they talking about, yeah, you know, the mics come out on my mama. Right. Yeah, you know, woo out the banjo. My homie had that back. He man, boy, we just did 10K. And you be like, yeah, man, so man, y'all need to try and invest that in some buildings or something. Shorty like trying. That instantly turned them off.
Instantly.
Instantly turned it. That's
Yeah,
the
they don't want to
posturing
hear
you
that
talking
shit.
about.
That shit, right?
You know what I'm saying? That's the posturing you talking about. And it's like, damn, bro, like you might not get this back. You might not ever get another $20,000. Like, what you gonna do to make this count? And I
We
think
just
that's
talked
what we
about
got
that
to deal
yesterday,
with
bro.
because our culture is also diversified. You know what I'm saying? Everybody come from a different makeup, different mindset. You got hustlers and you got
Yep.
people who learn. And we
Yep.
got to use every skill set that we got. And we got to turn the hustlers to people that learn and the people that learn to hustlers.
Hustlers.
Now, when you say damn, I lost my train of thought. Damn, I'll come back.
Well, let's go ahead. Rico, you got something you want to say before we conclude? Even everybody give a concluding statement. This one was a good one. Yeah, this one was a real
I'm good.
good
I'm
one.
good, man. I'm good.
You sure? You sure? Because you will stop playing this here thing.
No, man.
Rico brought that identity to the conversation though. Like,
I'm talking about
Right.
my man he been the most consistent over the last few weeks, showing up bang bang bang. Yeah, I want to make sure you get your voice in there.
No,
You know
I'm
what I'm
good, man. Hey, this was a good one, man. So, like I say, man, I'm taking notes, man, and I'm learning from everybody, man. You know what I'm
So,
saying? So, yeah, I hope we all learning from each other. So, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good, man. My brother pretty much wrapped it up for me on his last one. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I agree, man. I just think that this. You got to find a way to fix this illusion, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, with this instant respect and all this shit, and I need a motherfucker to be scared of me and all this shit, man, with these shorties and our the younger generation and shit. Some of the older ones, shit. It's all around, man. It's just we got to find a solution. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just listening and taking everybody's points, man. So we're trying to figure this out. Because I want to start in my family alone. You see what I'm saying? I want to start right there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure this out too, man. Because I got a few of them. You know what I'm saying? That's, they ain't trying to hit shit. You know what I'm saying? What the next scam, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. They ain't trying to hit, man. And I can't seem to break through to them, and it get frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Sometime, and then it'll put you in a mindset where you be like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So we got to try to work on that part too. Cause you be like, man, fuck this. And that ain't, that ain't gonna help nothing.
Nope.
Yeah. But yeah, I yield.
All right. Anybody else want to conclude? A concluding statement?
Yeah, I'm saying.
Go for it, P.
I like what the brother said. It does start with the household first. Whether it's a single mom or dad, that's where the key values come from you as the person that want to do things differently. So it starts with us first, man.
Okay. Anybody else want to conclude?
I just want to add, I put in a chat box, unfortunately, natural attrition is a part of the solution. And natural attrition.
You got to dumb that down for me, Ashley.
Yeah, I'm about to. I was about to right now. So
I was looking it up
is,
right now.
as time go on, people die off. Cultures and behaviors leave us, right? And it's some people that's just unteachable at a fault, right? So like some of those people got to naturally die off. I don't wish them death, but I'm just saying, like, in order for any culture, any civilization to be rebirthed or reborn or to move forward, it takes one part natural attrition.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, I'll conclude last since I'm the host.
I think that for one, what he's saying is true. It reminds me of the Civil War theory you had a minute ago, where you say like it got to be a civil war. You know what I'm saying? But it's the strong gonna survive, and
Well, let me. When you say I said Civil War, elaborate on that just a little bit. What
you were saying that basically it got to be people on the same frequency. It got to be. Now, I don't know if you were just joking, but you used to say like it got to be a war. We got to go to war with them. We got to get rid of them because they holding us back.
Okay. I did say that. And thank you for reminding me. I still feel that way. I
Yeah,
just,
evolved a little bit.
yeah.
You want here telling people to kill people, man?
No, I wasn't saying that. Not at all. But I was saying that, we have to psychologically go to war with those who not on the same frequency with us because they represent us, and they get to project what our group reputation is, and that group reputation is harming us as a group. So and that speaks to what Presley suggested that we'll talk about next week. He gave a suggestion of how we get better as a group, but that's part of it. We have to psychologically create psychological warfare that we're not going to just continue to stand for what the status quo is.
Yes, right.
I'm sorry.
So you saying we need to handle our problems internally, in other words.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know what?
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I got you.
Ain't nobody coming to save us.
Nope.
Right,
The
right,
people who
right.
the people
Absolutely.
the people who we look to save us are the ones executing diabolical agendas on us.
On us.
So how you gonna go to the bully and ask the bully to be nice to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You need to fix yourself so you can come back and whoop the bully's ass.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Big facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was about it. It just I agree with what he's saying. But I don't think that it's time to wait for because the culture is like a virus. It spread, it get worse,
Yes.
it get farther, it get further. Uh, you know what I'm saying? And then it's to a point where like it ain't about what area you in, it's about what group. Like, so for instance, right? They say they gentrified the projects, right? And the projects we know what the projects was about, right? Bam, they tore the buildings down. Now the people who was in the projects went to go make another area, a new projects. In the area that was the projects, it's like top real estate right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really about, it's all internal. It's all character, personality, values, etc. And I think that one of the ways to combat it is through social media, right? Because you got people that's gonna follow the leader because that's trending. Right now it's trending to be ignorant. It always been
Always been. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you got niggas
Yep.
that if you got a nigga who don't really got no spine or no backbone and he can be guided and taught, right? But he don't got no option. Like he said, he don't, like Ashley said, he don't got no it's no he don't see nothing else. So he's gonna eventually become probably one of the worst people around his area. You know what I'm saying? So I think that social media, it got to be, this type of shit got to be, it got to be blew up. It got to be propaganda. It got to be a real thing. It got to be like the trend. It got to be to the point where niggas is copycatting it and everything. Like, it got to really be a real thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it's going to start to grow. That's when it's going to start to be like, okay, yeah, we don't got to do that because, Ashley came from the projects. Look what he doing now. Look how he living now. Look at Rico. Look how he living now. Look at Real. Look what he came from. You know what I'm saying? They got to really see it and understand that you don't even got to burn yourself or cut yourself that many times to you know what I'm saying? And I yield.
Okay. Well, I'll conclude with saying that this was a great discussion. I appreciate you guys. I'm trying to get my wife to get this chopped up and tossed up on YouTube ASAP. I'll conclude with saying that family values are the core of all communities. And if you look at the results of other communities, you will notice the correlation between strong families and the outcome of their communities. An example, Lakeview, Lincoln Park, so forth, in a lot of Hispanic communities. If you roll through their neighborhoods, you'll see the community-based businesses and the quality of life that they live. Even in a lot of Latino lands where it's gang violence and stuff like that, you'll still see a better quality of life than in ours. And the statistics that I just read would bear that out, that they are 65% more times to be married than us. And what that produces is disposable income. And what disposable income means is I don't have to live check to check. I don't have to, every dollar I get has to go to my bills and my survival and the upkeep of my children. I can actually have, because me and my wife bring two incomes in, or my wife makes it easier to raise our children with proper morals and values that in our household, my children are more likely to come, to exude better moral character. So with that, it's clearly evident that we don't really have to make an opinion anymore, that if we value commitment and core family values like integrity, honor, and decency, and so forth, which is the opposite of degeneracy, then we will start to change the narrative in our own households, which you all guys said we start with our own families. We will change that narrative and then be able to perpetuate that to others. Like the young man said, it'll spread like a virus. So we need to create our own infection, our own virus, and go out there and spread it amongst the people. And that's what I mentioned, that in our own circles of life, in our own places and spaces, that we need to start to stand for certain things and not let certain things go on around us. And and I'll conclude with that. I mean, so many times I've seen it, and I've had to kowtow to a lot because it's very, it's a scary place. I've gotten to heated arguments, debates, you know what I mean, with people drunk. Fortunately for me, nothing really came about as far as violence, but I've always almost was taken there just for simply stating things or going against the status quo and saying, no, I don't agree with that whole narrative that's been pushed to us for all these years. I just don't see it that way. And I'll conclude with radical change requires radical thought. And if we don't have radical thought, then we're not going to have radical change. And we need radical change. There's no doubt about it. We need radical change in order for us to survive. Our numbers are down. Our population is down. Our ability to compete in relative areas is almost non-existent. So there's no question that we need radical change. And radical change is not going to come from the same old, same old. We have to be able to produce radical thought that will become radical actions that will produce radical change. I yield.
Good meeting, brother.